welcome. Rick Smith here again, and I'd like to pick up where I left off yesterday and tell you a little bit more about my story so that you can have a feel for why I decided to create YourPathToWeightLoss.com. Where we left off yesterday, I had just gotten transferred to the USS Dale in the Mayport, Florida area. And actually, the Dale was in the shipyard in Jacksonville at the time I got transferred to it. And after a while, it left the shipyard, and then I began to travel on the Dale. We went to a lot of places. The mission of a guided missile cruiser is to go around the world wherever the president sends it to, along with a fleet of other ships. It usually travels along with an aircraft carrier, and it performs various duties, such as being what's called a plane guard. So it would travel several miles behind the aircraft carrier and pick up any pilots whose planes went into the ocean. It can also travel out in front of the aircraft carrier and provide missile support and do those kinds of things. So I was stationed on the Dale for, let's see, about 2.5 years, something like that, 28 months, I believe. And what was happening was, at the time, I now had 2 little boys, and they were growing up, but I wasn't there to see them grow up. And so, after a while, I got out of the Navy. I got out of the Navy in June of 1984. I was tired of not seeing my boys grow up. And so I got out of the Navy in June of 1984, and I returned home to Jacksonville, Florida. And at that point, I decided to go into business with a gentleman. We were supposed to repair computers, but at that time, it wasn't as simple to repair computers as it is today. At that time, you had to get permission from the various computer hardware companies to repair their equipment. And so we looked into that, and that turned out to be a somewhat difficult enterprise to undertake. And so I wound up working with him. I invested some money with him in his CB radio repair business. And I really didn't like that all that much, but I did it for a little while. And after a period of about a year, I decided to get out of that. And so I put out some resumes and went looking for a job, and got a job with the South Carolina Electric and Gas Company they're headquartered in Columbia, South Carolina, but I was actually to be employed at the V.C. Summer Nuclear Station in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, which was a little bit north of Columbia. And so we were going back to South Carolina, and we would be able to renew some friendships with many people that we knew in that area. So back we went, and that was 1985 at that point. And so I went to work at the South Carolina Electric and Gas Company in Jenkinsville, South Carolina, working at a nuclear plant. That was a little bit of a switch for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I worked on the computer systems there, and I wrote software for the computer systems as well. And unfortunately, we have run out of time again for today's video. So we will pick up this discussion again next time when we talk more about my story and how your path to weight loss came to be.